Pros and cons of selling versus renting. We get a lot of owners that ask us, or excuse me, are undecided whether they should sell into this strong brokerage market or place their property with us in professional management and rent it out in what is also a very strong rental market. And while I'm not in a position to be able to help you with your specific situation, because I don't know the details of it, my intent today is to speak into you some thoughts that will help you make an informed decision on the best choice for your particular situation. I should preface all this by saying that I'm a landlord. I'm all in on real estate. Been doing this for 32 years, and I'm a strong proponent for owning real estate. And I'll share some of that reasons with you here in this short video. Probably the biggest advantage of owning real estate is that it is a great wealth builder. What typically happens, and what happened for me, is that when you buy your first one or two properties, you oftentimes will end up feeding those properties. You're putting more into it than you're actually getting out. But what happens is over time, rents continue to escalate, and the mortgage payment, for the most part, pretty much stays the same. So in the early years, you might have to feed it a little bit. In the later years, it ends up being a profit center for you. And that's certainly the case, what we have seen with our properties as well. Probably a little corollary to the whole wealth building aspect of it is that real estate is also a great wealth transfer vehicle. I'm not a tax accountant. Please consult your accountant or tax attorney for regarding this information. But as I understand it, the way current tax laws are written is that if I bought a property 30 years ago for $100,000, and now I go to sell that property 30 years later and it's worth $1 million, then if I sell it, I'm going to have to pay capital gains on roughly $900,000 worth of gains. If I pass away, my estate will automatically ratchet up under current tax laws, as I understand them, to that new value on the day of my death, or $1 million. That means that your heirs acquire the property free of having to pay capital gains on that $900,000. The bummer to all that is that you don't get a chance to enjoy any of it. Your heirs do. But if it's a great wealth transfer vehicle, because now that the wealth passes through to the estate, all that capital gains, if that makes sense. So real key item there. Real estate, like I said, it just keeps going up and up. It's not a short-term play. You do have to be in there for a long time. There will be dips and cycles like we saw in '08 and '09, but not as bad. But things do go up and down. But for the most part, the good Lord's not making any more dirt. And so real estate has a way of just continuing to climb. So if you're a long-term player, it's a great wealth builder. It's also a great wealth transfer vehicle. Another reason for holding on to real estate in the Seattle market is because again, we're seeing this market go bonkers. Back in the 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s and 70s, LA was the place to be, and you could see great wealth building going on in the LA market. In the 80s and 90s, San Francisco took over that top spot, and we saw that marketplace really start to escalate up. In the 90s and the 2000s, Vancouver, British Columbia, just north of us, saw tremendous run-up in their real estate. primarily driven by a lot of offshore investing from Taiwan and Hong Kong, but also from China. That market has actually been closed down by the Vancouver municipality for the most part. And what's happening now is that Portland and Seattle are now becoming the new investment meccas on the West Coast. And that's been going on for several years now, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And there isn't any end in sight yet. It's still going strong. And the pundits, at least, are saying it's expected to go strong. So it's a good time to just ride the market and just hold on. At some point in the future, it will go down. It's inevitable. And after it goes down, it usually goes right back up again. So that's a great reason to hang on to it, is just to continue to ride this very, very strong market that we're experiencing in Seattle. There is a situation where I do recommend to clients that they sell their properties. And that's generally if they have a really good reason for what they want to do with the proceeds from that sale. Recognizing, of course, that they're going to have to pay the capital gains tax. So they're going to be taking some of that and giving it to their silent partner, Uncle Sam, when they sell. But assuming there's money left over, if there's a good use for those proceeds, then it's a great time to sell. It's a strong brokerage market, and we have brokers on staff actually that can help you with that if you're not currently working with one. Reasons for selling real estate in Seattle right now might include a college education. It might include a large remodel you have in mind, or you might even just want to take the proceeds and invest in a different investment, or do a 1031 exchange from an underperforming property to a better performing property. So these are all reasons why it's a good idea to sell right now, would be as if you have a really good reason for reinvesting those funds. If you don't have a good reason, my recommendation is hang on and enjoy the ride. Thanks a lot for visiting Full Service Property Management. And if we can be of any assistance with your specific situation, please feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help.